I'd like to begin by thanking the organizer, Ms. Sana, and I'm honored to have the legends of our country, Sir Kasser, ma'am, and Sir Raza, and all the students, and Sir Zubair, and my name is Mazhar, and I'm also a part of Salim Habib University. I've been here since 2020, and I'm also honored to be part of it. And I am also working at Al Ghazali University, and I'm going to present the second part, and I'll take from Sir Usman's research. So actually I was part of the developers team 3 years ago when we designed this program, English Bridge program at Al Ghazali University. And the problem they were facing was that students had a lot of knowledge because they are already ulamas. And when we say an alim, it means they have completed 8 years of Islamic education, so they already have a lot of knowledge of the world. But most of their knowledge is about religion and scripture, and they are very limited. That the main problem that we were tasked to solve was that ulamas in our country are not connected to the mainstream world. Why? Because the same problem that they don't have the language of power, they don't have proficiency in English language. So I was part of the team and we conducted a 1 year long needs assessment. The first step, whenever you create a program, you need to you need to carry out a needs assessment. Needs assessment means, for example, in Salim Habib University, students, what are their needs of language learning? What are your needs? What do you want to learn when it comes to English language? Yes, ma'am. Can you say what do you want to learn in English? Ma'am, students, what are students' needs at Salim Habib University of language learning? Okay, any student? Okay, any student who can answer me? Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I'm talking to you.
Communication, learning communication, how to communicate with others, that's one part that students willing to learn at this university.
So, do you think that Salim Habib is teaching you that need, addressing that need? Okay, and how are they addressing that need?
Study the course for communication right now.
Okay, so this is what actually needs assessment comes from. So we conducted a needs assessment for 1 year and we conducted a lot of meetings and interviews with the stakeholders and students. We also assessed and interviewed a lot of the students to find out the problem. The major problem was speaking skills and communicative competence. Communicative competence is when you can say things, when you can send the message across in a language. That is the biggest problem of our society as a whole, but major problem in Madaris. So based on that needs assessment, we designed the program. So what were our options? Our options were communicative language teaching. We decided that we need to adopt a communicative language teaching approach because they have been teaching English by old methods, which is memorization, rote memorization of vocabulary and grammar rules, right? So we changed it and then we created and developed a syllabus. And also within communicative language teaching, there are different frameworks. For example, there is content-based language learning where you teach language through content. And there is also lexical approach. I think you have heard chunking. So chunking is also another functional, notional. And there is also one very important framework, which is task-based language learning. Pedagogical framework, CLT, point number 4, CLT plus task-based language learning, language teaching. What is task-based language teaching? It's basically especially designed to teach students to become fluent in a language. Okay, when you want to become fluent, what are the stages of becoming fluent? The first stage is to break that social anxiety, performance anxiety that you face. in that second language. This is the first stage. And if you cannot break that barrier, the first barrier, even if you're speaking, if you've been learning a language for 20 years, you will still face that barrier. You will still face that social anxiety. So task-based language teaching framework is especially designed to break that anxiety. So we knew that these ulamas, these madrasa students needed a breakthrough to acquire, to go across that barrier, and task-based language teaching was our idea. We thought that it would work. We were not sure. We were not sure because we were just first trying. So within task-based learning, what we do actually, we let students talk all the time in the class. The teacher talk is extremely low, 10%, only for instructions. So students keep talking with each other and they work in groups and pairs. So one student, for example, if there are 40 participants here, under task-based language model, one student will talk and interact with all the other students and participants. So in that way, they are interacting with like 30 plus minds, 30 plus ideas, right? And they are speaking all the time. And also task-based language teaching means you are doing real life tasks in the class. What are real life tasks? For example, they can fill out a form, they can book a ticket, or they can reserve a table at a hotel, or they can solve any set problems. Like these are called language tasks. So I had the task to develop the material. So I developed this material for the entire year and for speaking skills. And we just then ran the program for the first year, and then second year and third year we have completed 3 batches. So now let's go to the method. So the research that is still going on. It's a mixed method research. We have measured their outcome, their understanding, their proficiency by 2 means. One is the qualitative interviews and focus group interviews. The other is the Google Forms, Google surveys, and that is the student satisfaction surveys. And analysis is descriptive statistics plus thematic analysis through NVivo software version 4, and it's still going on. So student satisfaction survey at the end of each year were combined with the qualitative data, and emerging themes are being still worked out. So 83 total, I received 83 total responses, around like 120, 130 total students of 3 years. So from 3 batches, and we measured 7 skills that we were teaching. What are those 7 skills? We are teaching pronunciation, speaking, grammar, listening, reading, writing, and vocabulary. These 7 areas we are teaching right now. And we are teaching all of it through task-based language teaching model. So we give them tasks, real life tasks that they accomplish in the class. And also everything is based on task-based language learning, which is CLT and authentic. So task-based language learning is basically you are doing an authentic thing, an authentic task in the classroom. That is the base of this. So after this, actually, 7 skills and 5 dimensions. What are the five dimensions? I don't remember actually, but yes, they are here, five dimensions. Student improvement, how much they think they have improved. Number 2, teaching quality. What do they think teaching quality matters for them or not? And next is practice and activities. Practice and activities measurement was a very important area for us because we designed this syllabus for the first time and we were uncertain whether it will be fruitful or not. So we measured this on a Likert scale from 1 to 5. And then we combined this. We are still doing it. And now for the first time also we introduced pronunciation as a subject. In the needs analysis, we found out that a lot of students from different backgrounds, for example, rural areas and different other backgrounds, they had a great problem in being clear. They were not clear enough. Even if they were good at English, even if they could speak, their pronunciation was a big problem. So we also introduced a subject of pronunciation, and surprisingly, all the students rated pronunciation as the most important subject that they enjoyed because they needed them a lot. They needed it a lot, or what? So the first highest is pronunciation followed by speaking. So it gives us a pattern that maybe it's a pattern from our broader sociological perspective that most of our people actually do not have haven't broken that barrier. Because I'm teaching here also. I know that a lot of people haven't broken that barrier of moving from social anxiety to feeling confident in speaking that language. So maybe because they broke that barrier, so they think like speaking helped them a lot because they were speaking all the time. If they were in the class for 2 hours, they spoke for like almost 150 minutes. Oh, sorry, 100 minutes and 110 minutes, right? So speaking and then grammar. Grammar was also taught through task-based language teaching. All the grammar components were broken into tasks. Um, I can give you an example. For example, if we were teaching tenses, so we created situations, and within situations there were cards, and in cards there was the information gap, opinion gaps, and reason gaps. This is the crux of task-based language teaching. So they had to solve those tasks and learn the grammar through doing their tasks. All right, and the strongest dimension was teaching quality, which was a very positive sign for us because now we know that task-based language teaching probably has added a lot of weight to teaching quality because the students are just doing things by themselves. Teacher talk and lecture mode is not there. So maybe that's why they rated teaching quality really high. And weakest area was this thing, the main problem also, we face normally everywhere logistics issues. Sometimes the internet is not working. Sometimes audio visual is there, but it's not getting ready. So there were a lot of problems that we faced in this thing. And also there is a big problem that we faced. A lot of students wanted to only listen to religious text. They were not ready to listen to BBC, right? And you will be surprised to know that in the beginning, students refused to read books which had pictures because of Sharia compliance, right? So this is the weakest area. And program, now the first batch students rated the program as 5.2 out of 10. Then we incorporated their feedback in the next batch. And the second batch rated the program as 5.9. And the third batch, 2025, rated the program as 6.2 out of 10. And we are now working on the fourth batch, and we are still incorporating previous year's feedbacks. And findings so far that we have actually received. Communicative competence is the most important thing for these madrasa students because it links them to power domains, power corridors of corporate governance. Before that, they felt alienated, even if they had a lot of knowledge, because they already have a lot of knowledge of Islamic banking and finance. But proficiency in in English language, the language of power, has helped them enter that corridor as a confident participant. And pedagogy, the recommendation from this evaluation so far is that communicative language teaching and task-based language teaching is probably the very effective approach that I would recommend to all other programs that are planning to create such diplomas or such language intensive courses. Key constraints that we faced, that the groups are not homogeneous, groups of outliers. There are a lot of outliers. Some students are pretty very low in proficiency and some are very high, but we have to manage them in the same class because this is the culture of madaris. You cannot refuse a student based on their proficiency. It's the teacher's job to create that proficiency, to the talent, the learning in them. It was a major challenge that we faced, but task-based language teaching approach did help us solve this problem to a little bit, to a bit extent. And broader impact, now we have also interviewed students from 2023 batch in 2024. Many of them are now working in corporate sector, especially in Islamic banking sector, and they are reading all the documents, they are interacting with documents and corporate discourse, and that is in English. So they find it very easy, and they find it very good that they got the training, and they're also speaking English there. And one very interesting finding that came out from the study is that now students, because they are proficient, they can understand and they can speak. They are teaching Quran online to speakers of other languages. For example, there is a group of German speakers who are Muslims, but they don't know English. Sorry, they don't know Urdu or any other local language because they are from Germany. So those students now who can interact with English, they are teaching them Arabic, Quran. So that's also a very interesting finding. And it's okay. So overall, English as a tool of power, is helping us move socially upward. So recommendation is, from our perspective, if you want to develop a program like this, so maybe you can consider these recommendations that we're making. Thank you very much for listening. So Legend passes up. Any questions?
Mashallah.